Good afternoon and welcome back to DR Sports for another transfer update. Please remember to like the video, comment with your thoughts on the names that I'm about to mention, and of course subscribe if you haven't already to DR Sports. And don't forget, you can actually join the channel as a member now. We've left the link for you as a pinned comment in the chat, so make sure that you click that link and then you can get access to early content. You can get customizable emojis and your chat gets pushed up the queue if you do so. So if you're up for it, a lot of other people have been recently, then make sure you do check out that link at the very least. Right, transfer time. As the window looks to draw to an end on Thursday night, I believe it's 11 o'clock, we're going to start entering what I call silly season now, or desperate season, in fact. So today, tomorrow, and Thursday, make sure that you're aware of what's going on in the window, and you don't need to be anywhere else apart from DR Sports. We've got absolutely everything for you, and don't be surprised if you see some absolutely wild transfers happen through desperation, through injuries, through anything else really, suspensions. They are all going to happen in the next day or two, and it's kind of reached that stage already. And the story to kick us off, we're going to start off with Arsenal, or an ex-Arsenal player in Willian. Now, if you remember him from his Arsenal days, he was on an absolutely massive wage. And I think this was the one thing that made Arsenal fans and the board really get rid of him and send him off to Brazil for the last 18 months. But it looks like he's coming back to London and back to the Premier League with Fulham. Can you believe it? I mean, I was saying just a minute ago, when that happens to you in your career, let's say you're a Brazilian, you have a great career in Europe, you win trophies, and then you go back to Brazil almost for a semi-retirement. But no, it looks like he's coming back to the Premier League, and it's Fulham that he's going to go to. Let's not forget, he's already played for Chelsea. Does that sour his relationship there with the Chelsea fans? Now he's gone to a rival in Fulham. But I can't believe it. It's a one-year deal. He comes back to Southwest London, and I just thought, like everyone else did, that his Premier League career was definitely finished as a footballer. But no, it's not. He's back in Southwest London as a Fulham player, and he returns to the Premier League on a one-year deal. Fulham fans, let us know how you're feeling about this one. Is this the kind of player that you wanted to see come through the door? Jack Collins, who was on the COP TV a couple of weeks ago before the Fulham game, and he was on Box to Box on AFTV before the Fulham Arsenal game. I wonder how he reacts and how Fulham fans in general react to this one. Willian, back in the Premier League and back in London, but this time it's to Fulham. That's the third London club he's played for now. So Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, Fulham fans, let me know how you feel about that one. Right, let's get into Arsenal. We've seen this morning that Mohamed El-Neni has picked up a fairly serious injury that is going to rule him out for a considerable amount of time, according to David Ornstein, a very trusted name within the industry. This means that Arsenal surely will have to go and buy a midfielder now, considering the fact that Thomas Partey is also injured and ruled out. So is it time for Fabio Vieira to step up and be counted on for Arsenal, or is it now time for Arsenal to go out in the market with maybe 48 hours to go, buy another midfielder? We've seen being linked all summer, really. Well, not just this summer, last summer as well, with Yuri Tielemans, who definitely are not penning a new deal with Leicester. He's been linked all summer and more. But does this mean that you go back in for him now? Conor Gallagher is being touted around as well. Chelsea not really too keen on having him stay as well. Now, I suppose another option for Arsenal is they have these interchangeable players that play at wing backs that can play in the middle. Arsenal fans, how would you like to see the likes of Ben White moving into a CDM role? We know that he played there when he was at Leeds and Brighton in the Premier League. Could we see Zinchenko come into a midfield three as well? Excellent start that he's had at Arsenal. And Ben White has obviously started off his Arsenal career as a centre-back, but since Gabriel and Saliba have been playing so well there, he's been kind of forced out to play right-back. Now, Cedric can play right back. Tomiyasu can play right back as well. So it'd be interesting to see if Arsenal can utilise him in that midfield role. I actually would. I'd be confident if I was an Arsenal fan having either Ben White or Zinchenko in that midfield. Or do you have both? Does that allow you to maybe have Zinchenko, White, Tomiyasu, and Tierney all playing in the same team. If Ben White and Zinchenko move into that midfield three with Odegaard, then you could see Tierney play at left back, which is his natural and best position, or you could say Tomiyasu go into that right back position to cover for Ben White. So it's a really interesting move. This, do Arsenal panic and go back into that window and try and get someone, one, who's the right fit, two, who's going to be a good asking price, and three, can they play straight away? Because Arsenal need players going into this big game on Sunday against Chelsea. So we've also seen Fabio Vieira come through the doors. He can play different roles. Arsenal fans, it's the big question that I'm asking you right now. Who plays in that midfield on Sunday with Partey and El Neni both out of action? You've obviously got Xhaka who can play there, but is it... oh, sorry, it's against United. Do apologise. Arsenal United on Sunday. Wow, what a game. And obviously United will be a lot more confident knowing that they've won the last 2 games. Arsenal obviously won the last 4 games. But is this an opportunity for Arsenal to use their other players in that position? I mean, I would personally have a Ben White alongside a Granit Xhaka and keep Zinchenko at left back. But Arsenal fans, let me know in the comments. Henry's B reminding me that Sambi Lokonga is a midfielder at Arsenal as well, who can play in that position. Partey might be fit for Sunday, said Jacob S. Tom, though, says Lokonga or Zinchenko in that midfield. Xhaka, Zinchenko, Odegaard, says DS. And Zappy Alien reminds us that we've already got Tellers. I'm not too sure if you do. I think he's left. But Arsenal obviously playing Aston Villa tomorrow. All these games, these 10 games are all on TV this week. So really looking forward to seeing all those. But I guess considering the injuries that they have, the headache that they have in that midfield, they're going to have to test out an option against Aston Villa to go into that game on Sunday against United. So time is still on Arsenal's hands, but they are going to have to lock down either a new midfielder or change the system around quite drastically for both Aston Villa and Manchester United on Sunday. Anthony Bryan says, I take back my Zinchenko slander. He looks decent. I'm still skeptical, though. Sambi Lokonga can play as a 6 and an 8, says Henry's B. And Tudor W says Zinchenko DM. Tierney left back. There we go. Partey is missing the next 5 games, according to T Muller 630. And Sinan says Odegaard, Xhaka, and Smith Rowe as a 3 in midfield. Very, very interesting. Big up to Inter Yanan, who says hello, AGT. Hello back to you. And obviously, Conor Gallagher is a midfielder that has been, like as I mentioned, touted around. He's not going to get that time at Chelsea. He's already been sent off. So it hasn't been the best start back at Chelsea for him. So he could go back to Palace. But I do think there's maybe an Arsenal interest there to see if they could get him through the door. I do think he would fit in very well to that midfield and play well under Mikel Arteta. So let me know about that. But then also there's the Fabio Vieira option. I think he is number 8, is he not? I think Odegaard's number 8 for Arsenal. Let me know what actual shirt number. I should know this. Fabio Vieira has got Arsenal. But he was left out on the bench against Bournemouth, wasn't brought on. So can he step up now and be that player that Arsenal thought that they were buying all this time? Raiden Merby says we will buy Caicedo. Not too sure about that. We need Tillemans at this point, says Insane Wave. Intianan says, what was the point in Vieira? And Russian Singh says Partey is a liability. Kyriakos says Vieira is a cam. So interesting there. Any Liverpool news, AGTs, from 6-time UCL winners? No, unfortunately, absolutely nothing at this stage, even though there could be a late move, but it's very, 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 very unlikely. So that's Arsenal. They're also looking at Mykhailo Mudryk from Shakhtar as a winger. He's an option to play out wide. Again, David Ornstein reporting that one, apparently being touted as the Ukrainian Neymar is what we're hearing there. So if you've heard of Mudryk, let me know in the comments now. Do you rate him? Do you think he fits in well at Arsenal? Let us know in the comments. Another Arsenal link going away from the club is Ainsley Maitland-Niles, a man that's been in and out of that club for right or wrong. Desperately tried to get a move last year. Didn't really work out for him, but he's back at Arsenal, and it looks like Newcastle are back in the race to sign the Arsenal midfielder, according to Alex Crook. Mudryk is the Reece Nelson replacement in the comments, says these nuts. AGT, I like that shirt, mate. It's solid. Thank you very much. Fabio Vieira and Xhaka in the midfield, according to Mohars. And we won't get Mudryk due to injuries in midfield, says T. Muller. And I'm annoyed at us for not buying a midfield, AGT. We're going to regret this decision, like the centre-back to situation in 2020. That's a Liverpool fan, Ali A there. And Tom Seddon says, good little player, just not ready for the Prem just yet. He's talking about Mudryk. And Fury DJ, we've had a lot of contrasting opinions here on Partey. He thinks he will play at Old Trafford on Sunday. So who knows? Into Yanan says, I'm going to take Ross Barkley. I'm going to get hammered for saying it. Well, he has just left Chelsea on a free. They've mutually agreed to terminate his contract. A big shame that for Ross Barkley. Now needs a club. Will it be in the Premier League? Do let us know if anyone, not just Arsenal fans, but would anyone take Ross Barkley? Obviously, over 10 years of Premier League experience in that midfield as a cam. So let us know in the comments. Who wants Ross Barkley on a free? Let's move on now to Chelsea. Christian Pulisic will be staying at the club. He's upset apparently with his amount of game time that he's not been getting. And obviously he has been linked around to other clubs as well, but it looks like he's going to stay at the club, which he is not happy about. Mustafa, a great question in the comments. Would I take Ross Barkley? Absolutely not. I definitely wouldn't. As a former Everton player and Chelsea player, I just wouldn't have him at Liverpool. No way. Too old. He's finished and has been for years, says UCL Winners. Ross Barkley linked with Glasgow Rangers. Now, that would be a good move for him, obviously playing against Liverpool in the Champions League. So I'm guessing he'd be up for that and be playing in the Champions League. So Ross Barkley to Rangers is a very, very good opinion there from Kyrikos. Thank you very much for that. Apparently, Aubameyang to Chelsea still not dead in the water. The clubs are going to meet today. They're trying to agree a fee. Obviously, Barcelona are going to be playing hardball considering how much or how little money they supposedly have. But they're obviously going to want to make sure that he gets that deal across the line and they get as much money for him as they can. Also, Callum Hudson-Odui has now signed for Bayer Leverkusen on loan for the season. He's very happy to be there. We saw a video of him arriving for his medical at the club yesterday, and he is going to get game time there. That's no doubt about it. Zappy Alien reminding us in the comments that Hudson has gone to Bayer Leverkusen. Again, a player that never really worked out for Chelsea. In and out, no real consistency, not really massively backed by the fans when he wasn't playing so well, and he has gone on loan in the past, which again hasn't really worked out for him. But hopefully for him, this one does work for him. So that is Callum Hudson-Odui, no longer a Chelsea player for this season. He signs for Bayer Leverkusen on loan with no option to buy. Also, in terms of coming into the club, Wesley Fofana still not announced. He was in the USA for his medical, but that will be announced very soon for around about 70 million pounds. Leicester fans, Chelsea fans, how does this impact both of your clubs? Obviously, Leicester now need to go and buy a centre-back with that money. Chelsea fans, is this the man that you want to see partner Thiago Silva and Koulibaly at the back? Speaking of London clubs, let's stay here and go to Spurs. Antonio Conte says they need 2 more signings to come in. I guess one of those signings that has just happened is the re-signing of Christian Romero, who has officially signed a new 5-year Tottenham contract until 2027. As the loan move has now been made permanent, Atalanta will receive 50 million as a total fee for Christian Romero, who's had a great start to his Tottenham career, who is out injured for the next week or so. Tottenham have apparently reignited their interest also in Atletico Madrid's versatile midfielder Yannick Carrasco, according to the Telegraph. Yannick Carrasco linked with Manchester United only last week. But if Conte is saying that the club are looking to bring in 2 more players, then it looks like Carrasco could be that man to be added to the squad. Let's not forget, they've still got depth in that midfield. I know that Harry Winks has signed yesterday for Sampdoria on loan for the season. and also Brian Gill has left the club. But also, this is an interesting one. Reguilon looks like he's going to sign for Atletico Madrid, obviously on loan at Tottenham for the last 2 seasons. Hasn't really worked out, even though I thought that he was really good. But obviously, he goes back to Madrid, and not to Real Madrid this time, but to Atleti, as they have sold Renan Lodi to Forest. Again, Forest making their 21st signing of the summer. It's just unbelievable, the money that they've chucked around. But obviously, Atletico needed to replace that left back, and it looks like they've done so with Reguilon. Also interested in a potential loan move for Daniel James. We saw Fuad reacting to that yesterday. I've seen Tapping Tobes react to the fact that he was linked with Spurs, which hasn't really formulated, but maybe it's just a rumor. 24 he is, and it could happen before the window shuts on Thursday. But again, Leeds need him, so I can't see him leaving. And apparently Leicester are finally in talks with a player to buy, not sell this time. It's Schalke midfielder Amin Harit, who's 25. Could that be a replacement for Tielemans? Let us know in the comments. And Manchester United look to finally announce Antony today after such a long wait. He could even be on the bench for the Leicester game tomorrow. And if not, then he'll definitely be involved in the Arsenal game on Sunday. Again, that has just dragged on for so long now. There was almost uproar when we saw that United play on Thursday against Leicester, but there was almost uproar when people saw the fact that the CCTV footage of Antony walking through Carrington had been leaked. I mean, how that someone's got hold of that footage is unbelievable, but there's leaks all over Manchester United at the minute, and it's not just old or mold or cold Trafford, let me tell you. Also, it looks like Cristiano Ronaldo stays at Manchester United. No one else would take him. No one else could afford him. We've seen Napoli, Sporting Lisbon linked with him recently, and it's looking unlikely. So Manchester United fans, Ronaldo stays. Let me know how you think about that. We were talking about Conor Gallagher earlier. He's obviously in the thumbnail of this video. We were mentioning if Arsenal could do with him, but Crystal Palace have gone back in for him with a £27 million offer for the midfielder who impressed there on loan last season. I think he gets 9 goals and 8 assists last year for Palace. Meanwhile, Aston Villa have a strong interest in Brighton boss Graham Potter as a potential replacement for Steven Gerrard, who has lost 3 of his first 4 league games this season. We also learnt this morning that Scott Parker has been sacked this morning by Bournemouth after winning just 1 of his opening 4 games, which I think was super, super harsh. If we look at the results, they obviously beat Aston Villa in the first game, a great start, but then have lost the last 3 games to Arsenal, City, 5-0, 3-0, and now 9-0 to Liverpool. It probably didn't help him that he kind of threw his players under the bus in the press conference on Saturday after the Liverpool game, which probably didn't help him. He's had very little investment coming up from the Championship to the Premier League. But Scott Parker is gone. Who is going to be that next Bournemouth manager? Let us know in the comments who you think it will be. It looks like, according to Mr. Architecture One, that Uber to Chelsea is done for 20 million. We'll hold fire on that one until we see it. But big up to Mark T with a super chat who says, we could do with a midfielder. This is an Arsenal fan. Sambi is not good enough at this stage. Sambi Lakonga, he's young and raw. We need Tielemans ASAP now that El Neni is injured. Hashtag get it done. Well, there's just over 2 days until that can still happen. We're still waiting for just over 2 days until the window closes. Mustafa in the comments saying Sean Dyche or Big Sam for Bournemouth manager. Surely there's got to be better names around than that, with all due respect to to Sean Dyche and Big Sam, but I can't see that happening. But who knows? Maybe even Steve Bruce gets a shout, says Casper C. Tielemans is not a DM, says PS Midi. He's probably a box-to-box midfielder, as they call them now. Arsenal, the best club in the world. Fight me, says Ali F. Well, I can't fight you in a minute because Arsenal are the best club in the Prem right now. Tielemans is not a DM. If Partey is a backup we want, it's a Partey backup that we want. We need Mitrovic, says Sudashan. Right then, there's your transfer update for another day on DR Sports. Some massive deals still yet to happen, so make sure it's more crucial than ever for tomorrow and Thursday. You stay with DR Sports for all the updates as they come in live. Thursday night, we'll be doing a show right up until that deadline at 11 o'clock. So let us know if you're around for that. It'll be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. But until then, and until tomorrow, when you get your more news, that's been all for today. Take care and all the best. Take care. We'll see you soon.